So folks, we've seen time and time again on the internet people having a problem with other people's opinions. And it's kind of interesting because ultimately your opinion is usually going to be specific to you. And if you can't handle other people having their own opinions, you're kind of just out of touch with reality ultimately. But one of those things is who you're voting for. Obviously, all of us try to wrangle in as many people as we can to our side and say, well, you should vote for Trump because he's not a complete idiot and can speak in complete sentences and, I don't know, doesn't claim that he's 4 different nationalities every other day. But that's all you can do. You can't hold somebody at gunpoint and try to get him to vote for who you want because this is a free country and it destroys the purpose. At that point, we're no different than communist China or Nazi Germany or whatever else. But something for me that kind of goes too far is when other people infringe on your rights. It's one thing to have an opinion about people's rights. There are a lot of people right now attacking free speech like Hillary Clinton.
There should be a lot of things done. We should be, in my view, repealing something called Section 230, which gave platforms on the internet immunity because they were thought to be just pass-throughs, that they shouldn't be judged for the content that is posted. But we now know that that was an overly simple view, that if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
Look at you. I mean, what are you doing with your life right now? Other than, I don't know, just having the nicest looking neck in the world. I don't know, it's just kind of weird how you feel like you have to insert what you think is authority on America and say, well, we've got to get them. We got to make sure they can't say anything. And a lot of people as well have a problem with us having the Second Amendment. Us being able to have the right to protect ourselves, defend ourselves over a tyrannical government. People think it's unsafe, or it's unrealistic, or it's sad that people want to own guns. No one cares. But one thing that I've seen a couple of times on the internet, I imagine there's more out there, is when people go to people's porches and they rip off their candidate's sign, right? A lot of people put out a Trump sign, a lot of people put out a Kamala sign. It's their freedom of speech. Got to respect it no matter how stupid it is or no matter how stupid you think it is. So I heard reports of COVID going around again, and it kind of brought me back to when I got it this past time. It was a couple of months ago. It's kind of a crazy thing. I went in to get the drug that is supposed to just kind of wipe it out in a couple of days, and $1,400. Why is it that expensive? It's because they have a monopoly over the market. They know people are scared of COVID based off of media, so they just charge whatever the hell they want. Why not $20,000? It's exactly what they're trying to do with NMN. Right now, the FDA is trying to classify this as a drug so they can do the same thing they did with the COVID medication. This is a very generously priced product at the moment, but if they got a hold of this, who knows what it would be? $2,000, $3,000. If you don't have a copayment, who knows? Now, I know a lot of you have tried this. This stuff's awesome. It's anti-aging, helps control blood pressure, and it replaces NAD+ in the body, which is huge. So I asked Black Forest to give you guys another awesome deal. Here it is. For the next 48 hours, you buy 2, you get 1 free. There's going to be a link below the video. Go stock up. No telling how much longer we're going to be able to get this stuff. But one of the things that I think is just overboard is when people actually go to somebody's front door and get in their face. And that's what happens in this video. This woman decides to take it upon herself to go and ring somebody's doorbell and essentially cuss them out, get in her face. And I don't know, the people that I know, that's a pretty ballsy move because people don't take kindly to somebody being aggressive on their property.
Hi, I want to know how you can vote.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Shameful.
Are you the one that walks by here and always screaming at people?
No, I haven't walked by recently.
Okay, because a lot of people walk by and scream.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You are voting for the devil. Don't you know that?
No,
Why are you voting for him?
because I believe he is the moral candidate.
Oh, my God. F*** you for that one.
That's
moral?
exactly right. That's how your side acts.
Oh, my God.
That's
He's
how
the
you
most
guys-
immoral person around.
In your opinion, that's
Oh,
okay. I'm sorry. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. God bless you.
So this is kind of an interesting one. I'm surprised she's not wearing a mask. But there's a couple of points I want to talk about. I think if this was a man, it would be a little bit different because, you know, this woman looks pretty tiny, probably pretty fragile. But when she goes like that into the woman's face, to me, that's a pretty aggressive move, almost to the point where, like I said, if it was a man doing it to me, I would probably react a certain way. It's my property. You're on my property yelling at me. I don't know you. I did nothing wrong to you. Yet you're over here trying to teach me a lesson just because I'm expressing my freedom of speech. And I think that's one thing that people don't really understand. In life, the way you act, it's a continuous gamble. It's a gamble. If you act with integrity, if you're trying to do good to people, if you're generous, if you're selfless, if you truly try to help people out, most likely it's going to be a good gamble. People aren't really going to mess with you. But if you're the other side who thinks that they can take advantage of people, who can try to screw people over, who thinks that, I don't know, you can do and say whatever you want to people, one day you may meet that person who's not going to put up with it. And you may be surprised because nobody's stuck up for themselves in the past. But this is probably a perfect example of that. No, there wasn't any violence. No, the woman didn't have to pull out a gun or punch her in the face, but it could have gotten to that point. Why? Because you're sitting there and cussing out a person and getting in somebody's face on their porch because they're trying to vote for the person who's not absolutely nuts. And this woman said it. This is how the other side acts. Oh my God, you're expressing your freedom of speech by putting who you're voting for on your front line. I better go up there and get in your face and make aggressive movements towards you and tell you to fuck off. Like I said, she's a woman. She's probably more fragile than that chair in the background. But if this was a man, I feel like this situation would have gone a lot differently. Maybe the cops would have been called. Maybe a couple of different things could happen. But I think it's a pretty good point, especially for the people on the left who think that everybody is just going to tolerate your BS. There are people out there who don't tolerate this. And I know it's a good word to be. I try to be as tolerant as I can with people. I try to be as patient as I can, generous, kind. But I myself get to a point where if you push me too far, and then you wonder why you're shitting your pants, it's probably because you either took advantage of someone or tried to screw them around, like this lady did to this homeowner. Cut it out. Treat people with respect. It's sickening. The fact that this woman thought that this would be okay, the fact that she could just go up and do this. I mean, my God, what world do we live in?